everybody.
Not everybody, just you. Hey, you. Today, I'm going to turn this ridiculously expensive electric lawnmower battery.
I'm not going to do anything with electric lawnmower battery.
I am going to take the packaging and I'm going to turn it into a Voivod-inspired military droid. So stick around. I'm sure I'll screw it up.
Oh, tell me I recorded all that.
Start by cutting down the clamshell packaging. I just want to remove any pieces that won't be part of the robot head. Next, I chop up some boxes to support the inside of the head. I'm going to be doing a lot of sanding on this project, so I made myself this fancy sanding box to keep all the dust in one place, so I'm not just snorting battery packaging all day. The clamshell has this weird bulge on the front of it, so I cut that out. Now I'm tracing and cutting a piece of plastic to fit in the slot that I cut out of the face earlier. Experimenting with size and placement of his camera lens eyes. I buy these old camera lenses from camera shops and lots of 10 or 20 from eBay. Eyes are kind of hard to make, so I plan on using these when I don't feel like bothering with making my own. Especially when, spoiler alert, I plan to use LED lights in the eyes. I'm not sure about what size camera lens is going to look the best, and I'm starting to struggle with what this design is even going to look like, so I start doing some sketching. I sketch the basic shape of the head and then make some photocopies so I can experiment with different ideas. I'm heavily referencing the artwork of Voivod's drummer Michel Langevin with the vented mouth and all the spikes and antennae. Now that I'm more comfortable with the design, I start carving the plastic and cardboard to shape the head. I'm using some cardboard tubes from an aluminum foil dispenser for the roots of his fangs. Then continuing to fill in open areas around the jaw with more cardboard, cutting a piece of craft foam to go over the face so I can carve the mouth vent into it. Balling up some foil here to give him a chin. Now I'm cutting a hole to go behind his mouth vent. Time to mix up some Magic Sculpt. It's a 2-part epoxy clay that hardens in about 3 hours. Here I'm using it to cover the chin and shape the cheekbones. Smoothing things out with some water. Then cutting out some of the clay to make room for the eyes. I'm not crazy about the craft foam mouth. It looks like a child's jack-o'-lantern carving. It's very Voivod, but I'm not sure about it. Plus, I did a similar craft foam mouth on my last one, so I'd like to try something different. Here I've dug up this plastic nursery pot that might make a nice gas mask. That's also very Voivod. After trimming it down a bit, I'll sand it down and use some baking soda and CA glue to get it in place. As I start to cut out the eye holes, I realize I'm still not 100% sure what size lenses I want to use. The gas mask really changed the proportions for me. So back to the sketchbook. Same as before, I make multiple copies of the head shape so I can explore options. The one on the left kind of looks like the pig from Angry Birds. Do kids even play Angry Birds anymore? I'm still not in love with this, but it's good enough to help me decide which size lenses to use. I go ahead and cut out the holes a little bigger for the larger lenses. Turns out I overdid it a little, so I glue some cardboard scraps behind them to hold everything in place. You know, measure once, cut twice, scald yourself with molten hot glue 8 billion times. I got a pile of bottle caps and these weird gear-shaped spacers that I've been hoarding that will make a cool-looking array of secondary eyes for him. Then I roll out some more epoxy clay to fill in and shape the area around the camera lens eyes here. Most of the secondary spider eyes I plan to paint black, but I'd like this center one to be lit up, so I use a hobby drill to make a hole to put the LED in. Then I pop a glass cabochon in it and test it with my phone to see how it looks. I go ahead and paint it black, dry brush a little silver on the inside, and then epoxy glue the cabochon in. Now I'm using some mouthwash lids to make the bases of his jowl antennae. To get them at the right angle, I'll turn to my arch nemesis, foam clay. Last episode I bashed this stuff for being garbage at smoothing out seams, but it might be perfect for filling in larger gaps. I could have used epoxy clay for this, but it's expensive and dries a lot heavier than foam clay. For the gear eyes, I painted the backs of some cabochons black and backed them with some clay foam to secure them. While we wait for that to dry, I'll attach the front of the gas mask. I settle on this red plastic toy my son left lying on the garage floor. In my experience, fatherhood is 10% teaching life lessons and 90% stealing toys for droid faces. Then I have these arnica pill containers. Arnica is a remedy for when your joints hurt and you also believe in magic. I'll secure those with some more foam clay. For his forehead antennae, I'll use these TheraBreath mouthwash caps, with some foam clay to help seat them properly. I'm really happy with how well this stuff is working. I'm sorry about what I said about you last episode, foam clay. That was just my own insecurity talking. For the tips of the fangs, I'm going to use these dried out fine line micro pens. Busting out the miter box here and hobby sawing my way through them. Then I switched gears and made some ears out of peanut butter and milk jug lids. Nuts of distinction since 1906. I tried to glue the fangs in and ended up spilling CA glue all over the robot's left eye. And then spent way too long trying to fix it before just letting it be. Happy accidents and whatnot. Then I superglue the front teeth into the gums. And superglue the pen fangs in place. Here I've got some old roller spindles from my RoboVac. They'll make great antennae. It's antennae, right? Not antennas. Nobody says antennas. I'll drill holes into the spindles and thread some armature wire in to make it easier to secure the mouthwash caps, which I'll also drill a hole in. And for the smaller front fangs, pedipalps, I'll use some soap or lotion dispenser tops. Then I have these two little tube holders I got from a printer I disassembled a while back. Printers are loaded with interesting bits and pieces. Check this out. I have this plastic cable conduit that fits perfectly in these little cylinders. Working on getting the pedipalps constructed and attached. Here I'm haphazardly carving the foam to make room for the fangs when I slice my thumb good and hard.
I ain't got time to bleed.
No worries, got it all bandaged up. We're good. More RoboVac spindles, as well as some paper feed spindles from that same printer I murdered a while back. We'll use these for the jowl antennae. Adding a few twangstons of Zazz to his cheeks and face mask. I glue the washers to some craft foam to make them easier to stick to the face. They still don't quite stick, so I go back with a scalpel and carve them up a bit. Now I'm working on the wiring for the LED lights. I use these kits from Evan Designs LEDs. Super easy to use. I don't typically solder them, so it's a whole lot of fiddly twisting that I'll spare you. Clever part usage here. I made this light diffuser from the little plastic insert in bottles to make liquids come out slower. You know what it's called? An
Orifice reducer.
Hot gluing in some paper towel tubes to stick the foam and lights into. Yeah, that looks good. That looks evil. Evil. Sorry. Evil. Something's not right. Because I'm evil. Oh! Sorry, I get possessed by the spirit of Glenn Danzig anytime I say the word evil. I cut a hole in the bottom of the jaw and pushed a pipe in for the neck. Another aluminum foil tube to support that pipe. There's a little photovoltaic sensor I'll position under the pipe, and this will automatically light the eyes up in the dark. Then starting to build out the rest of the back of his head with scrap cardboard so we can close it up. I'll ultimately need 2 access points to the innards of the cranium, one for the batteries and one for the LED wiring should it ever crap out on me. I'm a little surprised how much I enjoy working with cardboard and hot glue. Might have to start doing more with it. Once I have the structure in place, I cover as much of the cardboard as I can with foam so it's easier to paint. Oops. Working on the battery compartment lid here, and I know it looks like I just glued myself to it. Maybe I did, but I'm not panicking. You're panicking. See? It's fine. For the hinges, I'll use duct tape because I'm a professional artist. Hot gluing the battery pack to the lid. Using a little more foam clay to cover the cardboard and blend it with the craft foam. I somehow lost the footage of me adding these spikes to the battery lid and to his headphones. They're made out of hot sauce dispenser tips and toothpicks. I'll build some more here to show you how it's done. It's mostly just jamming a toothpick into it and gluing it. That's really my one and only talent. Using some more foam clay to get these positioned how I want them on the head. Feel like his gas mask still needs something. Considering the industry standard applesauce lid enhancement here, but that seems played out, so I went with this Tajín lid instead. Now I'm going to get these gas mask tubes set up. I can't remember who I learned this trick from, but if you run some armature wire through tubes like this, you can shape them how you want and they'll stay in that position. Securing the neck pipe with some hot glue. And now we'll get to priming him, starting with a coat of Coscom Flex Bond. This will help seal the foam so it doesn't absorb our primer coat. So I took it outside to hit it with a black spray primer. Didn't film it. How does that make you feel? Comment down below. Now it's time to apply some golden crackle paste to him. This will really give the paint job a grungy, crackled look. I mixed a little Pro Acryl Coal Black in it so it's not such a stark contrast from the primer. Then I layered on super thick. The thicker you put this on, the bigger and deeper the cracks are. We want
Deep cracks.
because I'll end up sanding a lot of this down once it dries. Once he's dry, you can see those nice
Deep cracks.
then some
Smaller cracks.
where I went a little thinner with it. Now I'm going to do a mix of Pro Acryl Yellow Green and Faded Green for the base coat. Pretty much just dry brushing on a couple of light coats. This went on super easy. Finishing up the base coat here and
Oh, Jesus.
Did you see that? A jumping spider just dropped directly in my face. Move along, little guy.
Dude, I just want to be friends.
Now that I'm looking at it, I think I'll switch back to black for some of the parts that I want to be metallic. I probably could have planned that a little bit better. While we're painting, how about some shout-outs? Shout out to a sloth kill me for being the first comment I got on the YouTube video. Thanks, buddy. Shout out to Rampaging Pixie and Serenity LS8519 for taking the time to leave such nice comments. I really appreciate it. Shout out to my man Zeke for suggesting I turn up the music when I'm not talking so the silence isn't so oppressive. It's a good call out. The music quiets the voices in our heads. Shout out to friend of the show Clara, who sent a message via subspace frequencies saying I should get myself an airbrush. Copy that, Clara, just as soon as the monetization reactor stabilizes. That's all the time we have for shoutouts this week. If you felt like you deserved a shoutout and you didn't get one, I'm sorry about that, and it's okay to feel sad. But leave me a comment on this one and I'll try to give you a shoutout next time. I do read them all, and I try to reply, even to the Russian bots. Not the cleanest stencil work in the world, but I think when I'm on my deathbed, my last words won't be, should have spent more time on stencils. Doing some more god-awful graffiti, one of my lessons learned last episode was to plan these out a little bit better. It doesn't seem like I really internalized that lesson. Just more splashes of color here and there to really make them look like trash. Now going in with some metallic paint on some of the points and edges to make them look metal! Taping off the red part of the gas mask to add some white bands to it. Everybody knows that was a huge mistake. It'll be fine. Going in with some green brown to sponge on some of these surfaces to distress the paint. Some more metallic paint to highlight some of the edges. Then back in with a little black to dirty up the metal a bit. Just a reminder, if you've made it this far and you're not thoroughly enraged, give me a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Time to mix up some Weld Bond, Folk Art Dark Brown, Pro Acryl Coal Black, Gesso, Playground Sand, Baking Soda. Can you see how incredible this is going to be? Hang gliding, come on. Now that the goo is dried up, providing its crusty texture, I'll dab some more brown on it. Then back in with some metallic highlights on the edges. Now it's time for that noosh wash. Noosh is kind of a water-based wash that behaves similarly to an oil wash, but cleans up with just water. I mix mine with a little brown and black. Once it settles in, I sponge off the raised area, leaving the cracks and crevices dark and grimy. Then my friend Bill from the band Karitzis sent me these thick bass guitar strings. And what kind of Voivod inspired droid doesn't incorporate some gnarly bass guitar strings? These are for you, Blackie, and Rocky, and J-Sonic. E-Force, can't forget him. And Bill, too. His sweat and precious body fluids are part of this sculpture now. I'll link his band in the description. They're really good. Now I'm going to hit the rust areas with some Folk Art Pure Orange and Pro Acryl Red Oxide. Man, Pro Acryl is really hard to say.
Pro Acryl, Pro Acryl, Pro Acryl, Pro Acryl.
Then a little Vallejo Deep Yellow to kick it up a notch. Now we're ready for the Dirty Down Rust, the nuclear option for making fake rust look like real rust. Wear a respirator for this one, folks. I'll just apply a thin coat of this and then let it dry. He looks cool now, but a little one note. I'm going to go back and punch up some of the graffiti. and add some more impromptu graffiti because I never know when to quit. I should have stopped there, but I didn't. Definitely a Bob Ross moment here. I'm trying to give the eye a few focal points on the face, but I think I've just muddied it up even worse. I hate this. Ugh, so bad. I'm gonna finally apply the lesson I learned last week by planning out the graffiti for this cheek part by tracing it and photocopying a bunch of outlines I can sketch up. Now I'm using these shuttle art acrylic markers. These are the only acrylic markers I found that don't get smeared by noosh. If you happen to know of any others, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to
P.O. Box 4.
Pretty happy with how this came out. Almost looks good. Going back and cleaning up some of the edges on this piece of crap. Did a little more sketching and planning before going in with the shuttle art micro pen for the last part. These are all little doodles from Martin Popoff's Worlds Away, Voivod and the Art of Michel Langevin. It's a really cool book. And with that, I think we'll call him done. Alright, here he is. Our Voivod-inspired military droid. So yeah, what do we make of this dude? First off, I'm not sure this is a scale that I want to work at. I'd like to get these videos out a little more frequently. And I'm never going to be able to do that if they're all the size of this monstrosity. So yeah, lesson learned there. Well, what else did we learn? I think on the whole, I'm still not quite able to realize the vision that I have in my head for these things. He just looks like a bit of a mess, which is okay. You got to start somewhere, and this is where I'm starting, so that's fine. What else? Oh, well, I got attacked by a jumping spider. Maybe overreacted a little bit. Maybe should have used the opportunity to show a little grace to the arachnid world. I don't know. I guess that's it. So stick around for the glamour shots. We're going to listen to the track Forgotten in Space by maybe my favorite band of all time. I've been listening to Voivod since I was a kid. The music is incredible. The album art is bizarre. The lyrics, the imagery. Snake's vocals are just unlike anybody else's. His cadence is really interesting. I love the sci-fi punk vibe of the music, especially like their late 80s, early 90s stuff.
It's heavy, it's
technical, it's a little nerdy, just like you. Until next time, keep it weird. And thanks for being my friend.